Hi, I'm Nick from 99.5 The Wolf, Portland. I host the morning show there, and this week on How to Radio, I'm talking to Eric Rowe, who is a superstar producer of Roula Ryan in Houston. We're going to get 10 tips on how to become a great producer from Eric, but there are so many more than 10 in this thing. I just picked like 10 as the random, just 10, but there's way more tips that you're going to get. And it's not just about if you want to become a producer, it's about producing shows in general. There's a lot of good knowledge that you as a morning show host or you as an afternoon host can get, even if you don't have a producer. But if you do want to become a producer, this is also good for you. So this is just a must-watch video. Eric is just a wealth of knowledge, and he's super creative. I think you're going to get a lot out of this. So Eric Rowe, the producer, showing you how to be a producer on How to Radio.
How to get started? That's a tough one. Nowadays, it's changing. Now people are doing podcasts. People are doing social media. You have to know those things now. When I started, there was no social media. Now, if you're listening and you're starting out, you better know social media because that's what they're going to come at you for. You should be able to do it all because the station's going to want you to be able to do Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. They want you to be part of, how can you help this show, especially if you go to a show that doesn't really know that much about social media. You're going to have a leg up on somebody. And if I was hiring somebody that's 22 years old and didn't know that stuff, I'd be like, ooh, I might be out of touch. My daughter's doing a biography on Lucille Ball. I was reading facts about her, and she said something that was kind of cool. I don't think I'm funny at all. I'm not funny. She said, writers, directors, they're the ones responsible for creating the jokes, and that's what made me funny. So as a producer, you write ideas and bits and stuff. You're helping the talent. But she did say she was brave, and bravery is what propelled her to take those chances and leave supporting roles in movies to go to TV when people said, don't go to TV. I mean, who watches TV? Because it just came out. Yeah. So to me, bravery, take a chance. When you and I were talking before, I told you about some stories that happened to me where I took some chances. Probably stupid. Being naive sometimes works in your favor. So
I'm a producer now. What's the number one thing I need to work on? I've got social media. What should I be good at?
Being organized. Some shows like to plan a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead. I like to look at maybe story arcs for the show I'd like to do. Like I did DJing with the Stars. I brought in celebrities, local celebrities, and they competed each week on the show. And then people voted them off to find out which is the DJing with the Stars. They had to talk with the host. They had to do all kinds of bits on our show.
That's awesome.
Here's something I would tell you, too. From Last Dance, if you're watching that documentary with Michael Jordan, the guy was killing it. Top scorer, but they just weren't winning. So what they do, they fired the coach. They brought in Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan didn't like him because he was taking the ball out of his hand. He's like, Mike, we have to do the triangle. We have to do this, where we pass the ball to everyone else. You have to trust your team. You have to trust everyone else. I'm telling you, you do this, you pass the ball. You're not going to win the scoring title anymore, but you're going to win championships. You're not going to score average 38 points a game. You might average 32, but you're going to learn to trust your team. I would say to you to trust your team. Trust people around you. If you hired them to be on your team or they're with you, trust them. Let them shine. Give them a chance to shine too. That's why I say in our show, Roula Ryan Show, your name is on the show. Whatever happens, it's funny. You get credit for it. But anything you do is team effort, and that's why I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
How do you get your other team members to think that way? Obviously, I can go in as a producer going, it's all about trusting the team, and I've earned their trust, but how do I get them to trust each other?
I think you have to show them and maybe highlight someone else, like Sam on our show. She does decoding the DMs, and it's she gets these weird direct messages. Sometimes she's naive and she thinks they're being nice, but we're all like, I think that one's a little creepy. That guy wants to suck your toes. I don't think he just wants to really like you and be your friend.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just shine. I'm like, guys, trust me, we're going to do this bit with her. She killed it. She was hilarious. And now we do that bit every week. And she has a chance to shine on the show because now everyone trusts her. And then this one, I saw this last week, and this is maybe I'm a nerd, but there's a man named The Undertaker. He's a wrestler. He's in WWE. He's been around forever. So he's never broken character. I've tried to get him on our show because he's from Houston.
Yeah.
But he would never come on as his name, his real name, Mark Calloway, I believe it is. He would never talk because he wanted people to think of that character and never break character. But then he also did another character called American Badass. He's like a motorcycle guy. Kind of switched to that role. He said this, but it works with radio people. He says, you adapt but keep the core elements. And that's what he did, talking about how he went from The Undertaker, this mystical being, to just a motorcycle Harley guy. And people fell for it. They loved it still. They weren't turned off by him. He took a chance.
Yeah.
And now he went back to The Undertaker. And what he's saying is adapt, but keep the core elements. Are you the same show you were 5 years ago? That might not be a good thing. Look at your show. What are the benchmarks that kill? Keep those. Don't just throw them away. You might be tired of them, but if they're still, have legs, keep running those things into the ground, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Well, how do you find out what's doing well and what's not?
I think a lot of times when you meet people, stuff they bring up about the show, like, listen to the show, I love it. Whatever they bring up, or text, like we have a text screen. They do research for us.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the research that's when you can see a lot about who they like, don't like.
I bet, yeah.
Sometimes that way. Ratings will show you stuff you can see in ratings as well. Some things I wrote down: work hard, don't be lazy. Never once said I was the greatest producer in the world type stuff, or thought I was. I just want to outwork everybody. There's probably 100 people better than me, but I gosh darn guarantee that they don't work as hard as me.
What's the tips to working hard? Like, what do you mean?
Tommy Sablon, he's a famous producer from Jeff and Jerry's, the only producer in the Hall of Fame, or Radio Hall of Fame. He told me, Eric, right when I'm about to leave, I sit down and I make 5 more phone calls, and then I go home. What he's saying is, right when you're about to quit, you can do a little more, can't you?
Yeah.
You can write a few more bits, or you can do some research, or listen to some shows, or think of some stuff. Just do a little bit more. Think about your competition. They have all the same tools you have, the same preps. What makes you different than that show? Pay attention to detail as a producer. Think of the sky is falling. I like to think of everything negative and hope for the best. That way, if it does happen, I'm prepared. Know your role, but also know how to do everybody else's role. All of a sudden the board op's sick or the host is sick. Can you jump in? Traffic, can you jump in? Engineering, can you jump in? Learn everyone's job. Doesn't mean you have to be a master at it, but be able to help out. Be trustworthy. If a show thinks you're reporting everything to the PD, you're going to lose your trust. So that's a tough one too. Are you loyal to the morning show or loyal to the station? As a producer, your goal should be when you're not working, the show feels lost or a little uncomfortable because you're not there. That's always a great feeling. Roula always looks over to the left. If I'm not there, she kind of feels, and they can do the show. I built the show, so we survived. Roula's babies. Or Ryan's sick when he had cancer, when he fell off an airplane and almost died. The show just keeps going. We're a machine. It's the Roula Ryan show brand, not just one person. Are
you uncomfortable in the spotlight, or does it not bother you? A lot of producers I've talked to just don't like that part.
I don't mind it because I'm on all the time now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I know I can add. I can hang with any show because Kid Craddock was on his show, and if I could go toe to toe with Kid Craddock, I can probably do any show with anybody. If you guys want to look at some, Google Sam Cavanaugh and read some of his stuff. He's got a thing called fans, not listeners. He thinks listeners should be treated as fans, not listeners.
Yeah.
If they want to be part of you, like a football team. They're rabid. They'll show up to your stuff. They want to be on social media. They want to just know everything about you. But Sam Cavanaugh, he's not with in radio now. He's doing marketing, but you'll see videos from the last 10 years. Really smart guy. He's got some great stuff. Other thing I would say is multitask. Know the strengths of your team. Create solutions, not problems. You got to have management qualities because nowadays, you could be taking over a show with like our show, as I'm in charge of a lot of people, and you're in charge of help with promos, sales. You got to help all these other parts of the team. So you got to make sure you stay on there, understand your talent, get to know them, understand them. That's really important. You don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
It can be just workers, but you got to understand the way they think. I pitch an idea to Roula, it might be different than the way I pitch an idea to Ryan or pitch an idea to you. I might have to use, I'd find out what you like.
Yeah.
Like those bobblehead thingies above your pop things, whatever.
Oh, yeah, my little pop idols. Yeah, I'm a nerd.
Must be into comic books and nerd stuff, right? Yep.
Yeah.
You're talking about Comic-Con, which I love that stuff. I'm into that stuff too. Oh, here's one I wrote, and some people might not like this. Don't be afraid to use someone else's ideas to create something. What? We can't do that. We got to all be original. I mean, first of all, there's nothing original. Put your spin on it, though. How do you make something? And like Game of Games, I'll take Ellen's stuff and I'll make it fit our show. My theory was, you guys ever remember? Do you remember Hydrox cookies? Google them. They're like a cheap knockoff of Oreos, but the problem is they were there before Oreos. But what did Oreo do? They came around and they took over, and they made a better cookie. Maybe someone's doing a bit. Maybe it's that second date update a lot of shows like to do, and you're like, you know what? I can't touch that. I can't do it. They're doing it. Well, you call it something else. You make a different angle. You think of some other way, but it's about Tinder dating updates or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, just put your spin on something. And I'm not saying go out there and just look at every show and steal that stuff. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying listen and how they did it. Think of their psychology. Think of how they put it together, and then how you can do it better and put your spin on it. And that's what I try and do. Network. If you're watching this, you want to be a producer Eric at Gmail. Reach out, say you saw this. Talk to me. It's funny. I'll do these speeches, or I'll go talk somewhere, and then nobody will even email me back. So that makes me sad, but I'm the type of guy I would go call that person or talk to them. Another thing we do, it's called radio school every year. For 1 week, we bring in 12 kids, and they're part of our show. We have classes, like I teach them how to produce. I had interns watching. They're like, oh, my God, I'm learning so much in this class. I'm teaching 7th graders about how to produce. And I always say, what kind of emotion are you trying to get out of this segment? Kid will be crying, laughter, mad, happy. Okay, I'm going for 18 to 49 women. So I'm thinking of a 28-year-old woman. Maybe she's nervous because the pandemic's going on. She doesn't know if this could be her last day at work. She wants to be entertained. Let's take her mind off. Let's do something funny. Let's make them laugh right now. Boom. Maybe they want to hear a touching story of this nurse that, has been working, 3 shifts in a row, and she's at her wit's end with her kids, teaching them school, work. Mommy meltdowns. We take mom meltdown calls because we want frustration. I'm going for that emotion.
Yeah.
Go for it. You got to think of it as a science and, of course, creativity. 2 things that don't always go together.
Yeah.
But in radio, we have to, and I try and take both. That's what I think has made me have a pretty good career so far. Hopefully,
you're doing all right. Yeah.
Knock on wood.
One of the tips that you gave in our other video, I want to reiterate that again. Okay. Tell me about the magazine trick, or I guess it's not a trick, but tell me about what you did with newspapers and magazines and what you have your interns do. I
always do this with my interns. I would tell you, take the Houston Chronicle, get 2 copies of it. Take one and just read every page. I want you to think as many ideas as you can. I don't care if the page, this page just has a big car on it, Chevy truck. Think of some idea with that Chevy truck. It can be a topic, anything. I do that because I want right brain, left brain thinking. I want the brain to get the information, the other side of the brain to take the creativity and put it together like a nice Twix bar. Caramel and cookie, so good. And then I want to see, that's how I can tell where your brain is when it comes to radio. I think that's good for all of us. I need to do it again. I love doing that just for fun. I probably drive my wife nuts because I'm always thinking of ideas or, look at that over there. I'll be, all right, leave this note here, leave this type of notes. I got so many notes of ideas. Your brain is a muscle. We all know that. Creativity, you're not born with it. You got to work at it. You got to, if you're just going home, and that's fine if you want to go home at 10 o'clock after the show's over. They'll be like, oh, you can't just do that. Decompress, whatever it is, but you got to work at finding that funny, living life. That's why I know some shows, they stay till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the morning show. How does that? You're supposed to live life, and you have stories.
Yeah. If
you're just in your office all day, you're not creating stories. So.
Well, thank you, Eric, so much. And as a producer, again, you can reach out to Eric, producereric@gmail.com. He surprisingly said yes when I asked him for this. I hadn't even started it when I asked you to do this, and so I appreciate you taking the time and chat with me. And we've only talked like twice ever, so.
I know, but I keep my eye. I'm a radio nerd. Tell Mahoney hi.
Yeah, we'll do.
Talk to him and stuff. But I'm proud of you, man. You and your wife are doing it. I don't know how you guys do it. I want to see you have her on.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Stay safe, all right?
Yeah, you too.